Clinics in South America that advertise as addiction centers quietly claim to, what they say, cure gay men and women of what they call social disorders. A woman who went through one clinic's program says she experienced nothing short of torture. CNN's Rafael Romo went to see for himself.
Paola Concha is openly homosexual and is not afraid to speak about it publicly. But the Ecuadorian woman says her family didn't feel the same way. 5 years ago, when she was 23 years old, she says her family contacted a center that promised to cure Concha of her homosexuality. Concha says that's when the nightmare started.
On December 8th of 2006, they stormed into my house, overpowered me. They put me inside a van and took me to a so-called therapeutic center. By the time I got there, I was already handcuffed and beat up.
The clinic was called Bridge to Life. In December, CNN was granted limited access to the clinic. Concha says she endured all kinds of demeaning and abusive treatment during the 18 months she was held there.
I was kept in handcuffs for more than 3 months. I would be left without food for more than 3 or 4 days. They would handcuff me in a bathroom to a toilet bowl facing a toilet that was used by 60 people at the center.
While we were there, one of the clinic's directors, Luis Zavala, declined to speak specifically about Concha's allegations. But he did deny that their goal was to change the sexual orientation of their patients.
Our goal is to modify all inadequate behaviors that are causing a particular individual to take inadequate attitudes.
Government officials say some of these clinics operate as addiction treatment centers, but they offer homosexuality cures in a clandestine way. Bridge to Life was targeted for an investigation last year, but officials could only get enough evidence to cite the clinic on a technicality.
They say they found expired products. I would venture to say that the government has an ulterior motive.
The Ecuadorian Undersecretary of Health says expired products were found in the women's area of the clinic, so they closed that section.
But that's not really the most serious violation. What concerns us is that we have reports about their methods to change a person's sexual orientation and treatments that include torture and human rights violations.
Since we visited Bridge to Life, the Ecuadorian government tells CNN that after we were there, 2 raids freed over 40 people, and the clinic has been shut down for alleged human rights violations. Our efforts to reach the center's coordinator, Luis Zavala, for a comment have been unsuccessful. Today, Paola Concha is a spokesperson for the movement against clinics that claim to cure homosexuality. And Moreira, the health official, says new regulations for addiction clinics were implemented last year, and most are on probation for some type of violations. He says they're aggressively investigating reports of clinics supposedly offering to cure homosexuality because Ecuador does not recognize it as a disease.
So, Rafael, what's happening here? Is the government actively trying to shut down these clinics by carrying out raids, or are they just still going on?
They have conducted dozens of raids in the last few months. As a matter of fact, they have shut down 31 clinics that were all operating in the same way. They advertised as addiction treatment centers, but in reality, under the table, they were actually offering these homosexuality cures.
And what happened to this young woman who you featured in her piece? Is she okay? Is she in danger by coming out like this?
She's doing okay. The problem is that there's a lot of discrimination still in Ecuador, and she has been targeted twice. She was beaten up on the street twice, so she faces still a lot of the same problems that many gays in Ecuador face on a daily basis.
Very courageous woman. Thank you, Rafael. Appreciate that.